Hi everyone. Welcome back to the Potsmucker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmucker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament of the Jewish Bible, Tanakh, I believe it's called. Um, but being that I was raised a Christian, I use the King James Version of the Bible, the Christian version, in order to transcribe prophecy and put it into its proper order. And when I was done with this, it became the Book of Zion. In order to publish the Book of Zion, I had to write the book, the Potsmucker's Bible, as a commentary to the Book of Zion in order to qualify for publication. And I began publishing on 4/20 of 2020. Um, on YouTube in order to fulfill the stipulation that no money touch what I'm doing. Everything that I have done without the use of money because that is part of the requirements of the Zion of the Most High God of Israel. And what I did was I put the prophecy together and I found a set of instructions of things that I must accomplish in order to fulfill prophecy. So it took a while to do it. I started in, I think, 2004. And by 2007, I opened the Temple of Zion in York, Nebraska. And through the intervening years, I learned how to recreate society in such a way that we address all of the issues of humanity. And it is in line with the Gray Way, um, the Gray form of government, which is called the Temple Complex. Um, And today I'm talking about this because of an article that came out in on CNN, which stated that the intel portion of our government has 180 days to disclose to the Senate all of the information they have on the Greys, on the aliens, the UFOs. Hmm. Now, isn't that funny that I published my book that entitles me to be the spokesperson of the Grey. That's what my authority is on Earth. I speak for the Grey. They are the ones that have set me up to fulfill prophecy. And having fulfilled prophecy, I am now in a position, my rightful position, as the Zion of the Most High God of Israel, the mouthpiece for the Grey, the, the priestess, the high priestess of the temple complex. In other words, the Grey's highest authority on Earth. Now, across the face of the Earth, there are other people like me who speak all the languages of this planet, who have been put into authority by the Grey in upcoming events. So every region on Earth, every language on Earth has its own representative of the Grey. But I am the one who has been elected to the Council of the Grey. So I have a seat in the government of the Grey. I represent the human species. I represent the planet Earth. And as such, I represent the Greys to the human population. The reason why they had to sneak this little stipulation into the stimulus package is so that the government would be forced to come forth with knowledge of the aliens. That way, when we hold our solemn assembly at our campout, we will call on the Grey and the ships will land. The Grey, neither the Grey nor I, want to shock the population cold turkey. You know, going from this place of all the governments on the earth deny that the Grey exist, and then bam, here they are. That's not how the Grey want to operate. They want the human population to have warning that the Grey really are real, that the governments really have been hiding the truth of their presence. But that presence is going to come into the open now. That's why there's 180 days for disclosure. Because 180 days from now, the government, the Senate, will have to act upon this information. And by the time they get done, if everything goes according to the Greys' plan, I will be brought into the public's awareness as per my claims, and the controversy of Zion will begin. This controversy will reshape society into a better form. Now, for the next 20 years, according to prophecy, there is going to be a split. It's like drug users and gray people, and the people of the gray, the ones that choose to follow the gray as the gods of the earth, and those who don't believe it. Now, those who believe in the gray and the message of the family of Israel, the prophecy, they will have provided for them the means to provide for themselves. We will be given every aid that we need to sustain ourselves during the next 20 years that we have on the surface, and to prepare us, to prepare shelters across, all over the world, intermountain shelters, to sustain us through the earth changes that are upon us. Now, it's imperative that we start building these shelters because, according to the Greys' historical evidence and according to scientific human evidence now in circulation, there is a rogue planet in an elongated orbit around the sun, and it's coming into our part of its orbit, where it is going to disturb the Oort cloud. It already has. The gravitational fluctuations have already started to jostle the asteroids and the comets out in the Oort cloud. And we're going to be experiencing, in about 20 years, we're going to be experiencing an interplanetary bombardment by the Oort cloud. Because as Nibiru, this planet, comes into our sphere of influence, it is going to start jostling those asteroids and comets, and they're going to hit against each other, and they're going to bounce off, and it's going to be holy hell. I call it the roller coaster ride from hell, is what I call it. But they tell me that that is what caused this same bombardment has happened several times before. And this time, they know it's coming. This time, we have time to prepare. This time, we know how it's going to affect the planet, so we know what to prepare for. And that is all thanks to the gray. So it's imperative that we begin building these shelters. In order to build these shelters, we have to have the gray here, which means that there's no more time for the stupid people to deny the gray. Now, it's very important that you understand the reason the gray and the governments split. They split over money. The humans wanted to monopolize all of the gifts of the gray: computer technology, miniaturization techniques, the 3D processing. All of these are gifts of the gray. But they were subverted by the governments to prolong their monopoly over human affairs through the use of money. Money is the great divider, the big stop. And the governments chose to A, create weapons of mass destruction with the gifts of the gray, atomic fuel, atomic energy. Um, and they refused to give up the monetary system because the gray will not work with money. Money is a bad idea, and the gray refused to be a part of it. When the governments refuse to give up money and give the humanity the gifts the gray have given them, namely free energy, the means to unify the entire nation through the internet, instead of divide us, which is exactly what they've done. So the governments were rejected by the gray, and instead the gray followed the ancient plan of Zion. They created me, and I volunteered for this when I was 17, old enough to make a career decision. And that was the decision I made, was to follow the God of Israel and to fulfill a career based on the desire to end suffering on the planet. That was my motivation. But they have taught me that to do that, I have to destroy money because money is the evil that is the foundation of this society. That one thing that just messes everything up. So the gray have shown me how to Minecraft it. Believe it or not, the gray inspired Minecraft to show all of us gamers out there how to go about taking nothing and making it into anything you need. And there are other games that have been used to inspire us, like the Empire games and stuff, to show us how to go from one stage of development to another. Civ is a good game to follow that through. So it teaches us how to create a new society. The Grey are awesome in the way that they have used the tools of our society, tools that they gave us, in order to create within the population itself the necessary components to create a just society based on the Grey's own form of um, governance called the Temple Complex. Each temple of the ancient world was the head of a guild, and that guild was overseen by an alien that we called God. And the alien was a political figure. He ran the government of the planet in his region. And so we're gonna set up this same form of government where every government department it has a chair on the seat of the government and is attached to a guild system that encompasses every profession under their domain. And all of these government officials are the elders of the society, those who are 50 and older who have the experience of business to run their guild, to go up through the ranks of their guild to the chair. So this form of government by the Grey is going to be instituted in the camp when we go camping, which is what the Grey advises to do if we want to make contact. So join me at the Camp Out for Freedom. May the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. And may they teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Make that your guild choice in the Camp Zion. If you use drugs, stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know. I wrote the books. My name is Zion, I love you way too much to ever say goodbye. So I'm going to say later now.